Japan's leading car makers face uncertainty as US President-elect Donald Trump signals major policy changes aimed at revitalizing American manufacturing.
Japanese automakers are optimistic about the trade discussions between Tokyo and Washington. The two sides reached a basic agreement in late August.
But I just signed the largest trade deal in history. I think maybe the largest deal in history with.
A major shift is underway in North America's automotive landscape. Japanese automakers, once deeply rooted in the United States, are now redirecting billions of dollars in investments toward Canada, and the ripple effects are already being felt across the industry. President Donald Trump is expressing intense frustration over the move, but the deeper story behind this transition reveals a far more significant change in economic strategy. Japanese companies are leaving the US due to a combination of rising costs, policy instability, and global shifts toward electric vehicle production. Labor expenses, energy costs, and regulatory requirements have increased significantly, making long-term planning in the US risky. Aggressive political pressure, including public demands to build in America or face consequences, and the threat of tariffs, created an environment that many companies found too unpredictable. Meanwhile, the global automotive market is rapidly moving toward electrification, requiring stable energy sources, predictable incentives, and secure supply chains. Conditions that Canada was able to offer more effectively. Canada positioned itself strategically, quietly, and efficiently, offering a combination of government support, stable policies, and significant tax incentives for green manufacturing. Access to renewable energy, proximity to US markets, and a calm political climate made Canada the ideal choice for long-term electric vehicle and battery production. As a result, investments originally planned for US soil are being redirected north, bringing new factories, supply chains, and thousands of jobs to Canadian workers. This was not the result of a public battle, but of careful planning and consistent support, proving that predictability in policy and governance can be far more effective than aggressive pressure. Donald Trump reacted sharply to the news, expressing anger in speeches, interviews, and on social platforms. He accused Japanese companies of abandoning American workers and destroying US jobs. While his tone was fiery and his language dramatic, the reality behind the shift tells a different story. Much of the relocation can be traced back to the very precious strategies Trump championed. Public threats, tariff warnings, and inconsistent regulations produced fear rather than encouraging investment, ultimately pushing companies toward a more reliable and predictable partner. The frustration is understandable from a political perspective, but the business logic behind Japan's decision is clear. The impact on the United States is substantial. Billions of dollars in potential investments will now contribute to the Canadian economy. Manufacturing jobs that were expected to support communities in Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, and other states are now moving north, affecting not only workers, but entire regional economies. In addition, the US risks losing momentum in the electric vehicle sector as Japan's expertise in hybrid and EV technologies is now strengthening Canada's position. Long-standing economic ties with Japan may also be affected, raising questions about trust and reliability in future industrial collaborations. The US now faces the challenge of maintaining its role as a competitive manufacturing hub while addressing the consequences of policy unpredictability. This shift carries broader strategic implications beyond economics. Industrial capacity directly correlates with geopolitical influence, and control over electric vehicle and battery production will shape the future of transportation. Canada's rise as a manufacturing hub enhances its strategic importance in North America, while the US must reconsider how it approaches foreign investment. Stability, predictability, and cooperative engagement will be crucial for regaining credibility and securing future industrial projects. Japanese automakers did not abandon the United States lightly. The decision was deliberate and strategic, driven by economic realities, policy considerations, and the long-term needs of global competitiveness. Canada seized the moment by providing a more reliable environment, and the results are already visible in new factories, planned supply chains, and incoming investments. The US now faces a critical lesson in policy and industrial strategy. Aggressive pressure may produce headlines, but long-term partnerships are built on consistency, reliability, and clear incentives. This transition is not just about vehicles. It represents a broader shift in the global industrial landscape and highlights the importance of stable policy, strategic foresight, and effective governance. The US must adapt quickly if it intends to reclaim leadership in manufacturing and maintain influence over industries that define the economic future. Meanwhile, Canada demonstrates that careful planning, consistent policy, and strategic incentives can yield substantial long-term benefits, even without dramatic public showmanship. If you found this analysis insightful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future reports. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Japan made the right decision moving to Canada? And can the United States regain its competitive edge in the automotive industry? Thank you for watching.